Hello and welcome to Cricket and Wrestling for Us. And today we're going to cover this week in wrestling. Thankfully, I have a very special guest who is always here, right, to talk to us about what happens in wrestling every week. Aman, how you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Just, there's a lot of wrestling. I can't believe Survivor Series was only a week ago.
Mhm.
Speaking of Survivor Series, let's quickly touch upon it. What was the best moment of that night for you?
Ugh, I'm trying to think back now because I've slept since then.
You know what? I'll tell you
Um,
this. There were only two good moments, man. There were only two good moments the entire night. Number one was Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. That match was just, I loved the ending. It's exactly what needed to happen, right? Uh, and then it's Biggie versus Roman Reigns. Okay, that match was, I wouldn't call it a schmoz. I thought that was like, you don't see Roman Reigns get manhandled by anyone, at least in the past year and a half. He's manhandled someone like Brock Lesnar as well, right? So I think the way they portrayed Roman right now and the way Big E kind of came in and just stole the show, for me, those are the big two moments. Everything else, no offense to WWE Survivor Series, was horrible. I was so upset. I was like, I stayed up for this. I actually watched it. I was like, I stayed up for this. So very, very disappointed. How much do you remember or recall from what I mentioned?
no, I agree with you. I enjoyed the Becky Charlotte match. The amount of buzz and is this real? Is this not real? Do they really hate each other? Do they not really hate each other? That was surrounding that match. I think Becky Lynch went on like a press tour and spoke to Ariel Helwani, who's like a big MMA guy who does wrestling stuff as well. And she actually said that I don't get along with her. Our relationship is not good at the minute. Um, all these rumors that people were hearing from that championship segment a few weeks ago were actually true. Um, but the way that match finished, I think, was the correct way to go because you have an out now. You can have Charlotte come out and say realistically and um, have an explanation, ready built story to say, you call yourself the man, you call yourself big time, you call yourself all these monikers, yet you couldn't defeat me properly. That's your out to if you want to do another match, say on the big stage of like WrestleMania or something like that. That's your story going into that match. So I thought that match was good. Um, the Biggie Brock Lesnar match had sorry Roman Reigns match um, was pretty standard. Nothing really majorly to write home about. Um, even though they had this whole 25 years Rock tie-in, and people were like, "Oh my God, the Rock is going to turn up, and he's here, and they're going to lay the groundwork for um, Roman and the Rock and everything." I didn't think that was feasible or plausible. That's not going to happen. Um, but yeah, fine, fair enough match. I thought the rest of the pay per view was pretty was pretty standard. Nothing really to write home about. I thought that stupid thing about the egg and all, and we need to get uh, the person just like shoot whoever come up with that idea. Like
Do
that's
you know what, man? They concentrated so much on The Rock and forgot that he ain't showing up. They're not gonna have a genuine storyline, but to keep the buzz. Oh, who's gonna have the egg at the end of
uh,
Monday Night Raw? It was Austin Theory. I know that's a really bad segue, but I'm gonna use it. Right? It's I don't understand what's happening to Raw and what's happened to SmackDown. Dude, SmackDown was not the show we've known to love over the past like year or so, right? It's just going down and down and down, becoming the same level at Raw. It's making me less happy about WWE. And at the same time, I've actually stopped watching NXT as well over the past like couple of weeks. There's a couple of good segments that I read about. I'm like, oh, I'll check that out later. But it's just they've tried to make NXT a bit too rash and non PG, right? But again, that's not going to make the content good. Like you don't need more aggressive things like in terms of language or in terms of like camera angles. That's gonna change everything, right? You need good storylines as well, right? The only
Yeah.
good storyline, even though Braun Breaker lost to Champa, right? For me, that's one of the biggest, best storylines. And thank goodness they've got an NXT pay per view coming up, War Games, which is something I really like. I really like War Games, I must say. But in this instance, it's like the OG NXT without Adam Cole and without Bobby Fish and without whoever it is, right? Those guys versus um, the new breed of NXT. They're gonna win. The new breed is probably gonna win. The old
Mm.
guys are gonna disappear, and the show's rating is gonna keep going down and down and down. I'll probably catch up to it eventually at the end of the year. Oh, so what happened on NXT? Right, 2 years ago, Rhea Ripley won, and everyone was crazy about this show. And now 2 years later, this show is going down the hill. But I know this is a very long prelude to talk about Raw, but it's just a WWE problem right now. So I'll let you lead the conversation. Raw, be it SmackDown, be it NXT 2.0. What is happening, man? I just go on.
Um, I agree with you. I don't think they have very compelling storylines throughout the show. Um, there's only probably one or two storylines that are really grabbing people's attention, and we've said it. We've talked about it so many times on these episodes throughout the weeks. The Roman stuff and the Becky stuff that have been the only majorly consistent, entertaining stuff throughout um, the summer and throughout the year this year. But I don't know what they're doing with the rest. Like apart from the Seth and Edge stuff, which I found really entertaining and was really pleased with, I don't know really what they're doing. They don't really seem to be having um, investment in characters, given the exodus of talent they just released over the last few weeks, who were really supposed to be your future of your company and should have been the future of your company. Um, but I enjoyed the Finn and Seth match. Again, I don't really know what they're doing with Finn. He just seems to be floating there, really. Like he doesn't have a meaningful
Like
storyline.
every other wrestler who is not
Yeah,
Roman Reigns or Becky
yeah,
Lynch.
yeah. He just seems to be floating there. He doesn't really seem to be doing anything. Um, I think the only thing people are talking about from Raw was that guy who jumped Seth. Um, and attacked him and had to be escorted by the police. And that actually reminded me, I'm not sure if I told you this, but when I was there for WrestleMania, in that same building, we was there for the Hall of Fame, and Bret Hart and
Yes, I remember
Natalia
that.
were there to induct Jim Neidhart, and somebody jumped Bret in that building as well,
Yeah,
and the whole place just started booing him, started like screaming swear words at him. And I remember the Revival were there; they hadn't been fired by WWE yet, and they just left like peppered this guy with shots. They were punching him from left to right and everything. And then the police obviously had to uh, come and escort him. But it must be something about that venue
yeah.
that whenever they go there, somebody just decides to like, you know what, I'm just going to jump the barricade and attack him. But credit to Seth, who didn't get phased, didn't lose his temper and like destroy the guy and cause even more issues, and came out like an hour later and did his end segment as well. Wasn't phased by it at all, which was the only thing I think was of newsworthy to write home about for Raw. So I don't really know what else was
Well,
noteworthy about that
yeah,
show.
I understand. I think they're gonna one thing as we talked about again. They're gonna push the Becky heel turn, right? They're gonna keep at it until people accept it, learn to accept it. I'm glad Liv Morgan is getting a chance or getting a shot,
Mm.
which is the positive. For as we know, there's a sea or a plethora of individuals in WWE who get zero chances, right? At least someone they might get. Like she's not gonna win. Everyone knows she's not gonna win, right? But at least she's getting a chance, getting her name at near the top of everything. That's good. And then there's I just want to talk about, you talked about the guy jumping the barricade. Isn't that the security issue, right? Come on, man. They need better security in that instance. How can you have one of your best or main attractions get jumped? You forget, yeah, Bret Hart, that was a couple of years ago. It was pre-COVID and everything. Now it's like that type of like it, everything has to be more strict now. But no,
Yeah, yeah.
jumped it, absolutely hammered him. Thankfully, I think they showed like there's a few clips online where Seth has like gets the guy in a headlock, right? But as you said, when the revival was at WWE, they actually beat the hell out of that guy,
But
right?
the
So
thing was,
yeah,
sorry to cut you off, but the thing was, in Raw they have that barricade there to keep the fans apart. When you went to the Hall of Fame, there was no barricade
yeah,
there, so it was like they had the ring where the people would come and give their speeches.
yeah,
They had the superstars there who were sat on like the red carpet type of thing, like an
mm,
Oscars type vibe thing, but then there was no barricades on the sides,
mhm,
so it was easy access for somebody to
yeah,
come and just jump there. But yeah, it was a security issue. You would have thought that they would have had this thing regulated and monitored, and they would have had plans in place. But I guess some people just get through or
yeah.
fight themselves through.
Mm.
Um, but
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and just quickly about that Becky thing, it's been, I think she returned in August, and what are we now? Nearly December. So it's been about 5 months of this big time Bex. Are you buying Becky as a heel? Because I'm certainly not.
Thing is, right? She is playing the role so well. People are like, "We like you. We're gonna go with you." Right?
Yeah,
It's the same thing. It's like when it, eventually. Do you remember when The Rock turned heel when he came back as Hollywood Rock? Right? When Goldberg was there in like early 2000s.
yeah,
People, yes, they booed him, just like they didn't like him, but they wouldn't be like they had this aura, like The Rock had this aura that if he wanted to be a bad human being, you could kind of understand the way he was presenting himself. Becky can do it too. She's done it. But the thing is, you have no credible babyface apart from Bianca Belair. And for some apparent reason now, I think on SmackDown, Sasha Banks is a babyface now as well, right?
yeah,
She's been
yeah,
healed for so long that no, we'll just turn you because we don't have any credible baby faces to go against Charlotte Flair. That's probably going to happen, right? And this is the thing: if you don't have anyone to oppose you, you're going to get stuck in that situation.
yeah,
Also,
yeah,
I want to mention something, and I don't mean to cause the rivalry between WWE and AEW to get even worse, but Britt Baker, heel; Becky Lynch, heel; Charlotte Flair, heel. So maybe they were like, "Oh, let's make all of our champions in the women's division heels, and let's just see because it's working for AEW. Why not do the same thing?" But it's not like Britt Baker. Whatever happens, right? She was amazing as a heel when she turned, right, and she's been a heel since then. Becky Lynch came back as a very, very prominent hero, right? For lack of a better term, thrashing Bianca Belair. She's trying to show them, right? Yeah, you guys are this, you guys are that, but it's no one's buying it, right? Everyone
that's,
likes her, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's
But
very difficult.
they haven't
A
given you.
reason,
Why do I hate this person?
yeah,
She's come back. She had to take a year off. She had a baby. She got
yep,
married.
mm,
She's come back. She looks incredible. She's like the underdog here. Why do I hate you again? And then
doesn't
when
make
she was,
sense.
did you see that backstage interview she did after she won the match with Charlotte? She was in tears.
Yeah,
Why is the heel crying?
yeah, yeah.
Why am I
It's
supposed to feel sympathy towards the heel for?
yeah, and
Whereas Charlotte is your natural uber heel.
yeah.
She's second generation, um, multiple time champion, has placed herself on a pedestal. If the rumors are to be believed, she's not very well liked backstage and has an attitude. There are reasons to hate somebody.
Yeah,
Why would you? Actually, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah. And yeah, it's so WWE.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you what, it's the exact opposite of what's happening to Cody Rhodes in AEW, but we'll get to it shortly. We'll get to shortly, right? But it seems like an complete turnaround, or with John Cena back in the day, or Roman Reigns back in the day,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they were pushing them because they thought this is the right thing to do, but it's not. Okay, right. Let's quickly touch upon SmackDown because we have a new number one contender in the name and in the words of the conspiracy theorist, right? The man that I know you were a huge fan of, and for some reason they turned him heel. And again, he's doing a great job as a heel. But I remember when he was a face, man. And as soon as his music hit, the pop that used, oh man, Sami Zayn, by the way, guys, if you don't know, Sami Zayn is the new number one contender for Roman Reigns' title shot. But then, no, Brock Lesnar is coming back next week, so probably Brock's going to come in, thrash Sami Zayn, and they're going to
yeah,
have a match at day
yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And if people go back on the network and watch NXT from like maybe late 2014, early 2015, listen to the babyface reactions that Sami Zayn was getting. He was like Mick Foley level over
Yeah.
as a babyface, because he had that high of an emotional investment from
Mm,
people. But ever since he's come to the main roster, he's been more healed than anything.
mm,
But he's getting over, but I just don't think he's as over as he would like to be because the machine is not that invested in him. Just look at it, what they've done to him on SmackDown. He's become the number one contender. 5 seconds later, he's gone, or he's in the back shot, and they're saying Brock Lesnar is coming back. And it's probably going to happen like exactly what you said. He'll
yeah.
come, he'll beat him, and then they'll move on. Um,
One thing I'm
uh, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I would have been happier if Jeff Hardy genuinely won it because Jeff Hardy's a genuine face who, again, not gonna beat Roman Reigns, but if he beat Roman Reigns, I'd be like, all right, cool, this makes sense. And then if they build to a non-title match between Roman and Brock, or whenever it happens, a non-title match between Roman and The Rock, that would make sense to me. But as things stand, it's just gonna be people keep coming in. Roman keeps winning
Yeah.
until Keith Lee or Karrion Cross. Oh wait! They're not in they're not at WWE. Sorry, go on, Aman.
Um, I think this is as much as we have been praising this whole Roman storyline for keeping it fresh, keeping it relevant, keeping it interesting. I think it is hitting a bit of a
Yes.
stalemate. It's becoming a bit stale, and it's at a crossroads now. What do you do with it? Is it uh, that Cody pun was unintentional? Um, do you go Roman Brock, or do you go Roman and Drew? I don't know. If it was me, I would have left Brock until like a surprise entrance at the Royal Rumble, have him win the Rumble, have him face Brock, get his redemption and his revenge at WrestleMania. That would have been your story.
Mhm.
And you could also do Drew, but um, I'm not sure about that. I think their story is already there, ready built for you to do Roman and Brock. But I do think this whole Roman stuff, until um, you need to do something to get that juice back in it again, because it is going a bit stale at the minute.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. And the Paul Heyman side of things, like it's just becoming repetitive. It's becoming a bit stale is probably the best word because I was very excited about it. And now I'm just like, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah,
Okay, it is
because
what
I
it
think
is.
he's beaten everybody who they can throw at him. I mean, where do you go now?
They didn't try half of the people they let go. Like Hit Row, there's a video I've got on my playlist which I'm gonna watch, which is what happened in the last few days of Hit Row. I haven't seen it yet,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But Hit Row were up, like they moved from NXT, they were moved onto SmackDown, and they were let go within a month just
yeah,
because they wouldn't have a 90-day, a 30-day non-compete. They'd have a 90-day non-compete, and I was like, people might say, "Oh, I'm speculating stuff." That is a brilliant business decision, cutthroat, brilliant business decision. But as a fan, that's just so wrong. It's so bad, right? And I just got really like affected by it. I was like, oh, that's like I'm not a huge fan of Hit Row, but what they did in NXT for a short period of
he's
time, I
very
was like,
entertaining.
they were very good. Right. Okay.
No wonder Triple H has got a heart condition.
Yeah, because dude, he's basically taken everything that Triple H built and saying, "How fast can I destroy the
Yeah,
legacy of Triple
yeah,
H?" And speaking of the legacy of Triple H, let's talk about AEW because I just want us to talk about one thing from what's happened this week, and then you can talk about anything else you want in detail. That promo battle between
oh,
freaking CM Punk and MJF. Man, I'm telling you, I read about it. I saw a highlights package. Then I found the actual entire promo. Watched that. Got really happy. Then watched the review of the show talking about this specific this specific conversation. I was like, dude, this is so good. Like, this is one of the best battles I've seen in a while because I get all the references. That's one reason. But the fact that MJF, seemed like, oh, he shut CM Punk up. And then Punk's like, nah, man, I'm just messing. I'm just building the hype. It was great. It was amazing, man. Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
oh, I just thought from beginning to end it was brilliant. They're like two of the most outspoken uh, rebel, renegade, anti-establishment type characters you could have, and it was just you could see that it was going to be magic from the time where Punk was coming out. His entrance was playing. He was doing his whole shtick in Chicago, and then MJF's music cut him off. I think it's brilliant. Whoever thought of that was it's genius. How can you get even more heat on him? Have him cut Punk off in Chicago, and then the promos backwards and forwards. Oh my god, it was brilliant. I just loved it. It was like zinger after zinger after zinger. It was incredible,
Did you
incredible.
like the crowd reactions actually suited the situation? Friggin', you're just like what was it like a lower level or a wannabe the Miz or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, oh, and then again, obviously, CM Punk's gonna use names, but MJF probably like, nah, I'm not gonna use names. But he's like, oh, the you can't see me man
yeah,
and the
yeah.
King of Kings. I was like, I know those references. It was genuine. Like this is by far in the last few years, this has become my favorite segment. And people are like, oh, like stepping on the bandwagon, like recency bias. But I'm just basing it on the feeling I got. I had goosebumps. It was similar to what Cena and Reigns did like a few months ago, right?
Yeah,
When they had that back and forth, I was like,
this was
oh, this
better.
is yeah, this and surprisingly, this is better because it's not in WWE, okay? And on top of that, they're referencing things from WWE, they're referencing things all over the place. And it's just that reaction. You
Yeah.
get WWE reactions, but then you get reactions for CM Punk in Chicago, right? That just that was great. And I could
Yeah,
talk about this promo for ages, man. Oh
the
my god.
references were brilliant, but you have to think about who the crowd was there. Who is your typical crowd going to be at an AEW show? Somebody of our generation, our age, who is quite heavily invested in the wrestling business as a whole,
Yeah.
not just what you see on the TV product.
Mhm.
So you were going to get all those references. You knew that Punk and Triple H do not have the best of relationships, and how his exit from WWE was played out. And then Punk came back and was like, "You got replaced by Britt Baker. You it eats you up that I chose Darby as my first opponent, and you're only going to be number one if you married Tony's daughter." And he's not even married, I don't think. So it was just like zinger after zinger. It I did feel like it went on a little bit too long, but then once that promo match started, I thought this is magic. That this is money. That match, whenever it happens,
Yeah.
is going to be money.
100%. And again, people are saying Punk should win. Like I would be I'm probably one of the few people who's saying I think MJF should win by nefarious means against Punk because that's gonna be so like he's gonna get the heat even more. Like he can back up. Yes, he wins by cheating. Everyone knows that. But it's like the Eddie Guerrero thing in a way. Not exactly, but in a way. Eddie Guerrero became a very like face kind of character eventually.
Yeah,
But he could get that same kind of heat where he'll just do anything to win. And beating CM Punk would be the biggest thing in his arsenal. I just want to
yeah.
mention something. I just remembered we didn't talk about this. uh, Brian Danielson is heel, and he's what he's done. Like Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page, dude. He look at him 2 years ago. Look at him now. He is a different character. His wrestling has improved immensely as well, and the way he's conducted himself, absolutely loving it. New champion, by the way. We all know that, but we can tell as soon as they mention words like WrestleMania or the King of Kings or You Can't See Me, man, the crowds at AEW shows are like, all right, we're gonna hate you because you're you're WWE. You're talking about WWE stuff, right? And that's what happened to Danielson. As soon as he mentioned, oh, that happened to me at WrestleMania, that boo, like
Yeah.
all around the stadium, all around the arena. So I think Danielson and MJF, both of them, yes, they're heels, but both of them, their promos have been absolutely stellar over the past few weeks, man. And especially this week, that promo battle was the highlight, was like
Yeah.
the pinnacle. See what I
Yeah.
did? See what I did? Uh,
2K.
Thank you
Well
very
done.
much. And speaking of, clicks and things like that, um, there was a match between the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy versus Bobby Fish and Adam Cole at Rampage. I thought that match was absolutely brilliant. Like the way they kind of set up the storyline.
Yeah.
I know it was very quick, but it's just great to see these guys interacting. Like this is what was happening. It was Wednesday Night Wars, WWE NXT versus AEW Dynamite, and it was Orange Cassidy on one end, it was Adam Cole at the other end, and now they're both fighting on the same show on the second brand show, and it's just great. Like I'm loving the way they've kind of set a lot of things up. Again, we both agree on the fact that Cody Rhodes is probably going to have to turn heel eventually, right? The crowd is against him, like they definitely are
He
against him. They're
got
not too
he
happy
got
about
booed
it.
out. He got booed out the building this week when they
Yeah,
were in Chicago. So, but I
makes
do
sense.
think it was very shrewd and very clever of them in terms of the match that he didn't get involved that
Yeah,
much
yeah,
because he would have got booed
yeah.
tremendously.
Hmm.
But they're in Atlanta this week coming, which is his hometown. So he's going to be uber babyface there.
Yeah.
So expect to see more of him like actually wrestling. He's facing Andrade again, probably win. Um, but yeah, I think I've made my feelings very clear uh, about Cody Rhodes and the situation he's in right now. But I did enjoy that match on Rampage, and when I think Orange got him over in the Adam Cole in the headlock takeover, and then was just trying to get him to wave his hand and looked at the camera and did a smile like that, and Adam was like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" That was really good. It was really good. I enjoyed that. Um, but yeah, I think the highlight of this week has to be that promo battle
Mm.
between Punk and MJF. I am enjoying the Brian Danielson stuff. I didn't see it coming, but it makes sense,
Yeah.
and it knocked two of Colt Cabana's teeth out
Yeah,
in
kicked
that.
him so hard in the face. Right? You know, you make jokes like, "Oh, I'll kick you in the face and break your teeth." No, he's like, "I'm not kidding.
No,
I'll just
yeah,
do it on purpose."
yeah. Yeah. Well, at least they've got a dentist in the roster. They've got Brit who can be like,
But
"Come fix
she's
these teeth for
but
me."
she's a heel, right? So she might be
Yeah,
like, "I'm not gonna do
yeah,
it."
yeah.
Eh, Oh man. Anyways, Aman, thank you so much. I'll ask you the last couple of questions as I always do, right? Moment of the week. We all know promo battle between CM Punk and MJ. I'm not going to go into much more detail in that, but who was the wrestler of the week for yourself?
Uh, I would say I think Brian Danielson has been
Same.
on a tear.
Mm.
He's wrestled consistently ever since he come to AEW, and not in easy light matches, long spaced out matches with some tough opponents as well. And the body of work that he has put together since coming to AEW, I think, has been incredible.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I was going to say Brian Danielson as well. I love it when we agree because it makes things flow so much quicker. Thank you, man, as always. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please do leave comments in the section below. What? Leave points and things and thoughts in the comment section below. Love to read them, love to reply, and anything you want us to talk about, we'll talk about it as well for sure in one of these shows. We're gonna try and make this a weekly thing. Again, we're working out timelines. No flash puns intended, or any Avengers or Marvel stuff. But thank you everyone, and until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.